If you fall on the quieter side of the spectrum, you've probably had to answer this question: why are you so quiet? In Western cultures, we often treat silence as a void that needs to be filled. In Eastern traditions, however, that same silence is viewed as a sign of respect and necessary personal distance. This friction is the result of a cultural pivot that happened in the 20th century. We moved away from a culture of character, which valued inner contemplation, and began worshiping a culture of personality that rewards charisma and social influence. Modern media disproportionately grants authority to the loudest people in the room. Tech leaders with commanding stage presences often receive the majority of public credit for transformational changes. This overlooks the reality that many of the most successful technical and social breakthroughs are collaborations between extroverts and those who work quietly. These introverted contributors drive significant results, but rarely seek the publicity associated with them. This pressure to perform loudly mirrors how society once suppressed left-handedness to enforce a single right-handed norm. By treating quietness as a deviation, the 20th century cult of personality flattened the human spectrum into a rigid binary, forcing people to label themselves as either introvert or extrovert. This psychological preference for the loud eventually shaped our physical world. It manifests in the design of chaotic, open-plan offices and rapid-fire meetings, environments specifically built for people who think out loud. Modern society doesn't just misunderstand quiet people. We have actively engineered our environments to structurally favor those who speak first. Carl Jung, who popularized these terms, argued that everyone has both introverted and extroverted sides. In his view, a pure introvert or extrovert would be an extreme outlier, not a standard personality type. Later, psychologist Hans Eysenck shifted the discussion from personality traits to biological hardware. He studied how human brains respond to different levels of stimulation. Eysenck identified a baseline of arousal, the internal rate at which a brain naturally responds to external stimuli. An extroverted brain often has a naturally low baseline of arousal. To reach a state where they feel engaged and recharged, they have to actively seek out external stimulation, such as bold challenges or social company. Conversely, introverts have a high baseline of arousal. Their inner voice is already strong, meaning even a small amount of external noise can quickly push them into being overstimulated. In this biological context, silence is the presence of intense internal focus rather than a simple lack of noise. Forcing a high baseline brain to operate in a loud, extrovert-centric environment creates a biological mismatch. The constant stimulation makes it difficult to maintain the specific neurological conditions required for deep concentration. Noisy environments often erode psychological safety. When a team is dominated by the loudest voices, others withhold their best ideas to avoid the friction of being interrupted or judged. Research by Adam Grant suggests that introverted leaders often deliver better outcomes than extroverts. This is because quiet leaders are more likely to let employees run with their own ideas. Extroverted leaders can become so excited by their own perspective that they unintentionally overshadow their team's contributions. Ignoring quiet people isn't just a social oversight, it is an organizational failure that prevents innovation from surfacing. To fix this, we need a systems upgrade for our daily interactions, intentionally creating space for those who provide clarity through contemplation. One solution is strict conversational turn-taking. Using no interruption rules in meetings ensures that everyone's voice is respected, preventing the loudest people from dominating the room. We can also shift toward asynchronous feedback. Providing agendas and materials in advance allows quiet individuals to process information and prepare their thoughts, rather than being forced to speak off the cuff. Physical spaces must also change. The pure open-plan office should be replaced with designs that include isolated, quiet zones, giving people the privacy they need for deep reflection. Finally, we can all practice purposeful silence. As the philosopher Epictetus noted, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. Silence is not a void, it is a structural space. When we design our culture to respect that space, we invite the unexpected brilliance of quiet people to emerge.